we're getting more comfortable with our sculpting tools and our sculpting workflow, let's look at how we can modify our sculpting environment to give us more control over our polygonal mesh. And specifically, I want to go in and talk about how we can use the masking tools to enhance our control over what we're sculpting and how we're affecting the totality of our sculpture. Let's check it out. So I'm working on the ear here, okay, and I've just gone in, done a little Dyntopo action, as they say. Added some more polygons. I've turned the Dyntopo system off. I like to use the Dyntopo system to infuse a lot of small triangles and then use my traditional sculpting tools to go in and continue to work. If I need more polygons, I can always turn the Dyntopo system back on. I find that turning it off is a good workflow modifier, so I'm not accidentally adding additional details and small triangles in areas that I don't need them. So I've turned it off. And this is what it looks like, which is just perfect. I got a lot of small triangles in the ear, which is going to give me an opportunity to look to put a lot of detail in that area. Now I need to start flattening my ear a little bit, and I like using the grab tool to do that. However, in order for me to have a pretty big effect on the area, I need to make my brush pretty big. And one of the things that I'm noticing as I do this is that, yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. But I'm also kind of influencing the area around the ear. Let's go back in time a couple steps. Whenever you're making big changes, gotta have a big brush. Yeah, that's a little bit more like it. I like using these big brushes, but I don't want to influence all of this stuff down here in my model. Big changes need big brushes, but we want to be able to control which parts of our mesh these big brushes are influencing, and that's beginning to look a little bit like an ear. I got a little bit more to do here. I'm going to go back in time a little bit, and I want to do some masking. I want to tell the computer and only influence just this area around the ear itself. I don't want the computer to go in and allow me to make changes to the base of the head. Okay, let's do it real fast. And the masking tools are a way for us to do this. In the big picture, the masking tools interactively turn the influence of our tools on and off. Let's do it. You can find the masking tools over here inside of your toolbar, and it is this one. It's right below the cloth icon, okay? And this is going to turn your brush into a masking brush. Let's look at how this works before we apply it on our actual object itself. Here we go. All right. Now I turned off my overlays, which is why we're not seeing it. Let's turn off our wireframe. I want to see my masks, not the wireframes. Okay, there we go. So where we are painting, it's getting darker. The areas that are black are masked out. So any tool that we use is not going to influence the areas that are black, okay? Let me show you specifically what I'm talking about. If I go back into the grab tool again, and I try to grab it, check it out. I can grab around the base, but the areas that I've masked off are not moving at all. The influence of the tool in that area has been set to 0. Now that's clearly the best ear I've ever made. So let me hit the undo key a couple times here, and we can look at some additional properties. Oftentimes when I'm working, I'll mask the area that I want. I'll use the masking tool to just very quickly go in and brush the area that I'm looking to work with, like this. And then I'll invert the mask, because really I want the opposite. I want to be able to control just this area that's kind of gray. So we'll go into the mask pull-down menu, and FYI, you're only going to see the mask pull-down menu inside the sculpting environment. So we'll go masks, and then we're going to invert it, which is the top option. Aha! And now check it out. Ta-da! The rest of the bear is black, except for this little area over here, and then this area is white. Let me fix this area real fast. I think that's where I was exploring how to use the masking system earlier. Let's just go ahead and paint this. Get it all off, so I'm only influencing the area that I'm looking to influence. Okay, now I can grab my grab tool, make my brush real big, and yeah, there we go. Now I'm just making changes to the ear, and I can work with confidence now that I'm not messing with the other parts of my mesh itself. So the masking system is fantastic because it allows us to interactively change the influence of the tools on our mesh itself, and it localizes the brush edits to just the part of the geometry that we're currently working on. Okay. Now there's some other functionalities in our masks that we need to be aware of that come in this pull-down menu. Of course, we can invert the mask. Okay. We can also fill the mask, which is going to make that entire white area dark. Okay. Let me hit undo. In addition, we can also do a box mask, which will allow us to drag out a box, and then anything that's inside that box will get masked. When you're done with your mask, if you want to drop the mask and continue working across the entirety of your mesh, just make sure you clear the mask, and that removes the mask from the entire system. So our masking tools are a fantastic workflow addition to our workflow. Go in, we can grab some shapes that we want to continue to sculpt on and work on, and then use the masking tools to really localize the edits. We'll invert it. There's keyboard shortcuts for all of this. It's difficult for me to use keyboard shortcuts with my pen, but I think you're going to find that it's a pretty neat addition to our workflow. You can make these masks as big or as small as you want. Sometimes when you're working with masks, maybe you go in here and you're starting to work on the ear a little bit. Yeah, and you're real happy with the shape that you made on the inside, and you don't want the inside to get messed up at all. Well, just grab your masks, right? Maybe you want this in here to not be influenced by any further operation. Well, with it masked off, let me make the strength of my brush a little bigger. Now I can go in and start making some really cool shapes. The masking tools are more than just interactively turning things on and off. We can use the masking tools for us to help, or we can use the masking tools to help us make the shapes and the forms on the sculpture itself. So use the masking system. It's a great addition to our sculpting workflow that's going to make you a more efficient sculptor.